my investments, that through my investments, the most significant climate change law ever. And by the way, it is a $369 billion bill. It's called the. We should have named it what it was, but at any rate.
All right. President Joe Biden stops reading from his prepared talking points on the teleprompter and admits on live TV that he lied to the American people about the Inflation Reduction Act, which was actually a covert green new energy bill. Biden said the Inflation Reduction Act was actually about funding climate change efforts, and said the act should have actually been named something different. Through my investments, the most significant climate change law ever. And by the way, it's $369 billion. It's called the Inflation Reduction Act. We should have named it what it was. Now, listen to this. Your groceries are more expensive because of Kamala Harris and Joe Biden's Inflation Reduction Act. Your rent is more expensive. Your mortgage is more expensive. Gas at the pump is more expensive, all because Kamala Harris and Joe Biden lied to push through a green energy bill instead of a true Inflation Reduction Act bill. Kamala Harris has openly bragged that she was the deciding vote in the most expensive climate change bill ever passed by the federal government. Biden is a liar, and your life is more expensive because of him and Kamala Harris. All right, now, did you see that Hunter Biden pled guilty to stealing $1.4 million from the IRS? Remember how Joe and Jill Biden reassured the American people that he was totally innocent, and if given time, the truth would come out. Well, the truth has come out, Joey. And your son is guilty. He pled guilty to 3 felonies and 6 misdemeanors. Hunter Biden will be sentenced to jail on December 16th. Now, will he actually serve jail time? I don't know. But we now know that he stole $1.4 million from the IRS, and Joe Biden has promised that he will not use his presidential pardon powers to pardon Hunter Biden. But Joe Biden tends to lie, so I'm going to lean towards the fact that Hunter Biden will serve 0 time. Now, let me know in the comments, do you believe Joe Biden will use his presidential pardon powers to pardon Hunter? Type Y if you think yes, and type N if you think no. I want to hear from you. For me, I believe he is, yes, going to pardon his own son. Now, the big debate between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris will be happening next week. As of today, Trump won the coin toss and has decided Kamala can choose whatever side of the stage she wants. He wants the final word to the American people. Now, according to Real Clear Politics, you know, the polling group Democrats continually point towards to say that Kamala Harris is winning. Well, they released new data today, and it shows that Kamala Harris is in fact winning, but only the popular vote. Donald Trump is winning the Electoral College by a nice margin. The Trump administration was so happy that today they announced they are pulling all of their ad money spend from Minnesota, and putting it towards Georgia, Arizona, North Carolina, and Pennsylvania. Picking up these states puts Donald Trump even higher in the Electoral College. In fact, the polling shows Trump has a 61% chance of winning the presidency, according to the Electoral College. No wonder Democrats want to abort this rule and remove the Electoral College altogether. Now, I've been saying that even though Kamala is winning, that Donald Trump knows how to win, and it's through the Electoral College, and this is exactly what he is going to do. But guess what? It gets even better. Donald Trump says he's going to make housing affordable again by removing regulation that increased the cost of building by up to 30%. He also said the federal government is going to hand over low taxed land so that their builders can actually build affordable housing. But let me run the tape so you can hear from Donald Trump directly.
We'll be able to buy a home again and be a part of the American dream. We will eliminate regulations that drive up housing costs with the goal of cutting the cost of a new home in half. We think we can do that. The regulations alone cost 30%. Regulation costs 30% of a new home. And we will open up portions of federal land for large-scale housing construction. These zones will be ultra-low tax and ultra-low regulation. One of the great, really small business job creation programs it will be of all time. We're going to open up our country to building homes inexpensively so young people and other people can buy homes. You can't buy them anymore.
Think about how many jobs this is going to create. It's going to be awesome.
Millions of Americans will take part in setting these safe and beautiful communities, reviving the frontier spirit, and really, as I said, reviving the American dream. It's about the American dream. It's all about the American dream. We don't talk about American dream with these people in office. They don't want to talk about the American dream because they're the exact opposite. They're the exact opposite. We also cannot ignore the impact that the flood of 21 million illegal aliens has had on driving up housing costs. That's why my plan will ban mortgages for illegal aliens in California. They're passing a law where they're going to give illegal aliens money to buy a house. But our soldiers, our veterans that are laying on the streets, they can't have them. You have soldiers right now laying on the streets of different cities, all Democrat-run. They're laying on the streets in front of hotels, in some cases luxury hotels, and you have illegal immigrants coming in and living in those hotels and laughing at our soldiers as they walk by into a luxury lobby. Is there something wrong with that thinking? Is there something wrong with our country? If Kamala is allowed to continue to let our country be invaded, we will face a fiscal Armageddon. These migrants are consuming hundreds of billions of dollars in benefits.
Hundreds of billions of dollars in your money, and then you don't get any help, and then everything becomes more expensive because your hard-earned money is competing for the same amount of goods from their free money. So Donald Trump absolutely nails this on the head. We have to make housing affordable. We have to take care of our veterans. We should not be spending $500 billion a year on illegal immigrants while America is struggling. He went on in this speech, I didn't want to show this, but he went on to say that if put back in the White House, he is not going to be spending even a fraction of the money that we spend outside of the United States. He says, until America is great again and strong again and safe again, money must be spent in America. I mean, makes me so happy. I mean, Joe Biden has destroyed the dollar. He's destroyed our reputation. He's flooded the country with illegal immigrants. Something has got to change. And hearing that homes could be affordable for first-time home buyers and the young makes me so happy. I have said so many times to my wife, how are our children going to be able to buy a home or afford to live? Also, can you believe the way that Biden and Harris treat our veterans compared to illegal immigrants? We need to start treating our veterans and our seniors better. These illegals are living like kings while true citizens struggle for bread. It's unbelievable. All right, I have even more big stories to share with you, but first, a word from our sponsor. Colonial Metals Group helped me with my goal of protecting my financial future. Being at the whim of the stock market or the Harris-Biden administration, it doesn't make me safe. It doesn't make me feel secure. It's made me have less money. Now, by having a self-directed IRA, I can safely store gold and silver, something I believe in, something that is going to be around in the future, something that was used in the past. It's something stable that you can count on. Now, Colonial Metals Group helped me create a self-directed IRA so that I can have direct access to my assets. Let the team of experts at CMG help you protect your family's future. Their level of professionalism and ability to listen makes it easy for you to learn everything you need to know about preserving your hard work. Now, maybe you're just getting started, or maybe you have a 401k or an IRA. You can put those in gold and silver. And if you've been put in charge of helping mom and dad, a portion of their money should be in gold and silver. Every financial expert says some of your worth should be in gold or silver. You can look that up. Now, we've put together an incredible offer. Call the 800 number below or go to the website. You can get a safe and up to $7,500 in free silver. The number is 800-807-2143, or check out colonialmetalsgroup.com/Gardner. Again, look at the difference between the Biden administration and the Trump administration. Trump wants to preserve the dollar. Trump wants to make Bitcoin more available, gold and silver more available, the American dream more available. And the Biden administration, they want all of this as well, but they want it for illegals. Just look at their actions. Their actions speak louder than their words. Now, speaking of words, listen to what Charlie Kirk had to say today. He said, this is absolute tragic numbers released today by Representative Chip Roy of Texas about the border crisis. 8.5 million illegals crossed the border during Biden's tenure, surpassing the population of 37 of the 50 states. 5.6 million were simply released into the country. No questions. Over 5 million people. Come on in. We need you to vote in the next election. 169 known terrorists arrested on the border in 2023. That's just in 1 year. 99 illegals on the terror watch list released from 2021 to 2023. 75,000 Americans in 2023 alone were killed by fentanyl poisoning, and sadly, the year isn't over yet. Democrats are not the party of compassion. They are the party of chaos, carnage, and death. Now, Trump wants to get a lot done. And I'm only scratching the surface of some of the stuff he's talked about just this week. But can he actually do it? Here's my worry. Right now, he is winning in all of the swing states, and he has enough votes to win the Electoral College. However, Representative Jamie Raskin said, even if Trump wins, Democrats ruling Congress will ensure he is never sworn in and never given power. I mean, these guys are evil, absolutely evil. Now, one of the most brilliant Democrats alive, an award-winning physicist, has flipped on Kamala Harris and on Joe Biden. He's going around the country on podcasts saying, you cannot vote for these people. They have gone crazy. They are going to get us into World War III. They are going to bankrupt the middle class. But now he's saying, even if Trump wins, I don't know if the powers, the elites above, are going to even allow him to run. Let's watch this together. It is absolutely fascinating.
You said, what are the odds that Joe Biden has a debilitating event between now and November, including death? So he runs a 1 in 20 chance of dying in any given year or above, that I don't think you know whether he's even going to make it to November. Debilitating event could have been a debilitating public event.
I purposely left it vague, and I didn't say the other part of it, which I now feel comfortable saying, which is I don't know whether Donald Trump will be allowed to become president.
What do you mean by that?
I think that there's a remarkable story, and we're in a funny game, which is, are we allowed to say what that story is? Because to say it, to analyze it, to name it, is to bring it into view. I think we don't understand why the censorship is behaving the way it is. We don't understand why it's in the shadows. We don't understand why our news is acting in a bizarre fashion. So let's just set the stage, given that that was in February. There is something that I think Mike Benz has just referred to as the rules-based international order. It's an interlocking series of agreements, tacit understandings, explicit understandings, clandestine understandings about how the most important structures keep the world free of war and keep markets open. And there has been a system in place, whether understood explicitly or behind the scenes or implicitly, that says that the purpose of the two American parties is to prune the field of populist candidates so that whatever two candidates exist in a face-off are both acceptable to that world order.
All right. Sorry to interrupt. I want you to let me know in the chat. Do you think that this physicist is right? That the world order, they don't like people like Donald Trump, populists, people popular with the people, right? And so they put forward two people from different parties, but both of them are approved. They don't really care who wins because they've already approved them. Donald Trump was not approved, and that's why they have made his life a living hell. So what this guy is saying is everyone that we've had was because somebody high up that we don't know who allowed them to move forward. Let's keep going.
So what you're trying to do from the point of view, let's take it from the point of view of, let's say, the State Department, the intelligence community, the Defense Department, and major corporations that have to do with international issues, from arms trade to, food. They have a series of agreements that are fragile and could be overturned if a president entered the Oval Office who didn't agree with them, and the mood of the country was, why do we pay taxes into these structures? Why are we hamstrung? Why aren't we a free people? So what the two parties would do is that they would run primaries. You'd have populist candidates, and you'd pre-commit the populist candidates to support the candidates who won the primaries. As long as that took place and you had two candidates that were both acceptable to the international order, that is, that they aren't going to rethink NAFTA or NATO or what have you.
Think about this. During every debate, they always say, if you lose, will you support and vote for the person that wins? And who was the first one to say no? It was Donald Trump. He said, I won't support because I'm going to win, right? And when he said that, they knew that they were in trouble because they always get Nikki Haley or Marco Rubio or Ron DeSantis, whoever it is that they really want. They get them to say, yes, whoever wins, I will support that person. But Donald Trump bucked the system.
We called that democracy. And so democracy was the illusion of choice, what's called magician's choice, where the choice is not actually, pick a card, any card, but somehow the magician makes sure that the card that you pick is the one that he knows. In that situation, you have magician's choice in the primaries, and then you'd have the duopoly field two candidates, either of which was acceptable, and you could actually afford to hold an election. And the populace would vote, and that way the international order wasn't put at risk every 4 years, because you can't have alliances that are subject to the whim of the people in plebiscites. So under that structure, everything was going fine until 2016. And then the first candidate ever to not hold any position in the military nor position in government in the history of the Republic to enter the Oval Office, Donald Trump, broke through the primary structure. So then there was a full court press. Okay, we only have one candidate that's acceptable to the international order. Donald Trump will be under constant pressure that he's a loser, he's a wild man, he's an idiot, and he's under the control of the Russians. And then he was going to be a 20-1 underdog. And then he wins. And there was no precedent for this. They learned their lesson. You cannot afford to have candidates who are not acceptable to the international order and continue to have these alliances. This is an unsolved problem.
All right. I mean, this guy articulates this message in such an easy way to digest. What we are watching is the deep state trying to fight against the populist candidate, the one who might not get us into war, the one who wants food affordable, the one who wants housing affordable, the one who wants school choice, the one who wants to close and defend the border, the one who wants to take care of American citizens more than illegal immigrants. All of these things are against what the power structure really wants, which is the disruption of the United States of America. Donald Trump slips in and gets past the primary twice, and they're saying, we cannot have this. We have to destroy this man. And so this is why they are throwing everything they can at him. I am so grateful for Brett and Eric Weinstein, lifelong Democrats that have stepped back and said, wait a minute, our country is going to fall apart. We are going to be taken into World War III. All of this for money and power. It has to be stopped. Anyway, I wanted to share this with you. Biden admits the Inflation Reduction Act was a lie. It made your life more expensive, all to pass a green energy deal. Trump says we're going to take care of Americans, veterans, seniors, and the young before we take care of any illegal immigrant. And now you have Eric Weinstein saying, I don't know that Trump's actually going to get in, but I do believe he's going to win. And here's all the reasons why. I mean, wow. If you guys enjoyed this video, please give this a like because it helps me out so, so much. Also, hit that subscribe button. Earlier today, I did an interview with Mayor Rudy Giuliani. I'm going to put that right here. Go check that out. Also, check out Colonial Metals Group. Thank you guys for supporting the channel. I love you. Stay amazing. And I will see you on the next video.